Well, it's the beginning of 2025, so allow me to wish you a happy new year. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. If you want a place to help you grow spiritually, you want a divine perspective on life, you want to have an understanding of God's plans and purposes, this is the channel for you. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything that is posted on here. It's a new year, and well, you probably not everyone will be watching it at the beginning of the year, but whenever you do watch it, it's always a new thing, a new day, or a new season, a new phase of life, and there's usually a lot of hype around newness. When it's a new year, it doesn't matter what culture, what society, what religion people belong to. The new year comes with a lot of hype, a lot of celebration. Um, of course, it begins with the whole celebration of Christmas, and there's a lot of commercialization around it, and we can get so caught up in the hype. But as people of God, we have the privilege of God's word and God's spirit to help us have a deeper understanding of these things. And so when it's a new year, as people of God, we should celebrate, because a new year is a manifestation of God's word. A new year is proof that God's word is true, because it all began in Genesis 1:14. Genesis 1:14, when God created time. It says, "And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for years." And so we see that when we experience a new year, we are just seeing the manifestation of what was spoken in creation happening all over again. And for centuries and centuries, man has never had to have a meeting. We've not needed to go meet NASA. Do you think the earth is going to go around the sun again? Are we going to have another year? No. God's word has been faithful throughout all these years. He says he upholds all things by the word of his power. So a new year is actually proof that God has upheld all things in the universe by the word of his power. So indeed, it is a reason to celebrate as people of God. So yes, there's a lot of celebration and hype by people who don't even understand the things of God, but we can celebrate with a deeper meaning, that indeed God remains faithful. But the newness of the year must have a deeper meaning aside what we see on the 1st of January. What does it mean when we talk about a new year? And let's lay this foundation. Newness is of God. Newness is not something man came up with. We are introduced to God our Father as one who appeared in Genesis 1, as the Bible helps us to understand. When God comes on earth, there is darkness, there is void, there is emptiness. And God said, let there be light. We see a God who creates new things. Every day of creation, from day 1 to day 6, there was something new. That's the nature of God. If we go to Revelations 21, God says, I make all things new. Isaiah 43 verse 19, behold, I do a new thing. So newness is a nature of God. Everything that is new is just a reflection of God's desire to bring newness. In fact, the Psalms will tell us to sing a new song to the Lord. So let's understand that newness is an expression of God's nature. So, what is the essence of having a new season, whether it's a new year or a new month or a new season, as an individual? What does it mean? God gives times and seasons for purpose. Let's understand that. God gives times and seasons for purpose. So when there is a new year, when there is a new season for you, what it means is that God has another expression or revelation of his divine purpose to unveil to you. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 helps us to understand that. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So God links purpose to time. So whenever there is a new time, a new season, what it means is that there is an unveiling of a new dimension of God's purpose. Like I said, this is us looking at it from a divine perspective as people of God. When people enter into a new year, they believe it's a time for their plans, it's a time for new year resolutions. What am I going to do new? New year, new me. Those are some of the slogans we hear around, and that's all good. But we must have a deeper understanding that it is not about a new you yet. It is first about the unveiling of God's purpose for that time. A few years back, 2020, we began the year, and people, it was quite a catchy year, 2020, and people had amazing plans, only for COVID-19 to change the whole landscape. Wherever you are in the world, you would have known that 2020 was a different kind of year. I'm just using this as an example to let us know that the new year is not about you. It is not your plans that make it a new year. The new year is about the purposes of God. And so sometimes we can have our plans, we can have our, in fact, it is good to have your plans, but we must understand that God's purpose for the new year supersedes your plan for the new year. Proverbs 19:21, it says, there are many devices in a man's heart, or many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So there is a counsel God has for the year 2025. It goes beyond what I want to do. I mean, I people already have their weight loss programs lined out. I have one for the year, and people have marriage plans, and people have um financial plans, people have plans for their career, and that's all good. But let's understand that the foundation of a new year is God's purpose. So if the foundation is God's purpose, how can I truly experience the newness of the year? Because truth is, we can get to December and people would shout about a new year, and it ended up being the same cycle, or even though they have made plans for the year, they get to December and realize that it was a totally different experience. So how can I experience the newness God has for me? Experiencing God's purpose for the new year is not about your resolution. It is first about your position. It is not about your new year resolution. It is about your new year position. And this is what I mean. If the new year has a purpose, which is God's purpose, then you must be aligned to that purpose in order to experience the newness of the year. You cannot really walk into the newness God has for you if you're out of position. Imagine someone on a journey, and maybe they stop to fuel their tank, and then he's about to continue the journey, and he's talking about, okay, I'm going to go faster this time. I'm going to make sure my tires are in shape so that they can run faster. I've filled my tank, so my car is going to go so fast. Those are all good, but question is, where are you in relation to the destination that this journey has? Where are you? What is your position? And so when we talk about a new year and experiencing a new year from a divine perspective, the first thing is not your resolution, is not what you are planning to do. It's first to check, am I in position? Am I in alignment? There are two young ladies that I want us to use as case study for this. Ruth and Orpah. These were the daughters-in-law to Naomi. Naomi's two sons had died, and they were married to these young women before they died. So um, it was quite a tragic moment for the whole family. Elimelech, the father, had died earlier, so they were yet to recover from that grief, and then Malon and Kelon, the two sons, also um passed away. So here, Naomi is left with these two widows, and um obviously the benefit of time is that we have the opportunity to make a fresh start. So there was an opportunity for a fresh start for Ruth and Orpah. Naomi was heading back to Bethlehem from the land of Moab. And so this is we get to a point, and it's like a crossover service for them. And Naomi saying goodbye to them, says, go back to your people. I can't give birth to sons for you to get married to them, so go back to your people and start a new life. And Orpah reasons out and says, yes, it's a new opportunity for me to start afresh. So bye, Naomi. But so that is Orpah making a new year resolution, making her plans and moving along. But let's look at Ruth. Ruth is not talking about her resolution. Ruth is talking about her position. I will not leave you. Your God will be my God. Your people shall be my people. What was Ruth doing? Ruth was aligning herself for newness. She had no clarity of her plans yet. I am not saying that it is wrong to have clarity of plans. I'm saying that your position must come first. Ruth established her position. She said, I am aligning my life to Naomi. And so we are beginning a new year. I believe that 2025 is a great year. I believe that we will experience the fullness of God's blessings this year. But before you jump into your plans, make sure that you are aligned. Let's start with the right position. In the next video, we are going to talk about how do I position myself in God. But understand this, the best of the year would come to those who are aligned to the purposes of God. And I know that we are going to have an awesome time this year. See you in the next video as I talk about positioning yourself for the newness God has for you. And if you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can know when it's uploaded. God bless you.